will watch The Watchmen? The question asked by many people, and the question that is at the base of trying to understand a lot of law enforcement and a lot of the people in charge. If the people in charge are the ones who are supposed to make sure that things go according to plan, who is looking over them to make sure that they are carrying things according to plan? And in the terms of Trinidad and Tobago, that's a question that is in the public mind a lot recently, with several high profile issues and killings coming from the police that have shone a bad light. It's a dark light. If it's a light that has been shone on the police service in Trinidad and Tobago, it's a dark light. And as investigations into how some of our police members have been carrying out their duties have come out, as some of the conclusions have been drawn from them, we've seen that there is some lacking in the police service, and there is some that can be made better. But one of the most important parts about that is about holding people accountable. When these police officers do something negative, do something bad against the law, what happens to them? Are they above the law, or are they held to the same standard like the regular citizen in the country? And now we are seeing, like it seems, at least one of these incidents that happened 2 years ago, it seems like there is some kind of justice being slowly brought forward from this, as 8 police have been arrested in connection with some killings, three killings, sorry, that happened in 2020, I believe that was. But before we get into that story and get a little into the nitty-gritty of it, as per usual, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment if you have something to say. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Share the video to people who might like this kind of content, who might want to know what's going on with these cases, what's the latest coming out from this. Well, you can share this video and let them know, hey, go listen there, see what's the latest coming out from here. So, as we dive into it, 8 cops detained in Morva, triple fatality. 8 police officers whose conduct is under investigation in the police shooting of 3 men in Morva 2 years ago have been detained by investigators overnight. Newsday has confirmed that the operation to bring in the officers who fired their weapons, killing Joel Jacob, Noel Diamond, and Israel Clinton, went into effect on Thursday night. A special task force led by Superintendent Wayne Abbott led the mission, and the detained officers are being confined in separate police stations. Newsday was told that the operation is still alive and other officers are likely to be detained. The 3 men were shot dead on June 27, 2020, near the Autoguru building, Juman Drive, 2nd Caledonia, and the incident was captured on CCTV cameras. Police claimed officers opened fire on the 3 men after one of them pointed a weapon. However, security camera footage conflicted with the officers' account, as 2 of them had their hands in the air when they were shot repeatedly. So, the police gave the account that they usually give in most of these incidences. When something happens, the police give the account, the perpetrators, the criminals out there, they fired their weapons, or they aimed their weapons in our direction, and fearing for our lives, we returned fire in keeping with our use of force policy, etc., etc., etc. But then video evidence came out, and people were recognizing, the video evidence tells a different story. And the thing is, that's very scary when it comes to the police service, because our police service doesn't only kill 1 person per year. Our police service actually kills quite a few people every year. And if you cannot trust that the people our police service kills in the line of duty, if you cannot trust that these killings are above board, then we are in a scary place as a nation. We are giving our permission as a country, as a culture, as a society. We are giving our permission to these men to go out there, and they're committing criminal acts. That's a scary thing. And we could look into the number of people killed per year by our police service. The numbers, and this comes from an article on body cameras from The Guardian, but they have the numbers here. Between January 2015 and the beginning of July 2022, 231 people were fatally killed by police officers in Trinidad and Tobago, according to statistics provided by the PCA. In 2015, there were 17 police killings, 2016, 28, 27, 36, 2018, 37, 2019, 32, 2020, 33, 2021, 32, and this year there have been 16 so far. Using the 2021 statistic, Trinidad and Tobago had a rate of 24.6 police killings per million people. Comparatively, in Canada, which has a population of 38.01 million people, there were 32 killings in 2021 and 36 killings in 2020. Using the 2021 statistic, Canada had a rate of 0.84 police killings per million people. Less than one. We had more than 24. Now, bear in mind, of course, Canada is not a densely populated country. The density of population in a given area also has something to do with the prevalence of crime and criminality in the area. So it may be sensible to compare these numbers along with the prevalence of crime in the areas too, but still less than one compared to over 24 is a massive difference. And the United States, the country where we see so much criminal acts, we see regularly people protest and burn, well, let's not say burn down cities, but they do burn buildings protesting the actions of these police officers. Surely the United States is worse than Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to their treatment, at least their killing of people in their country. In the United States, which has a population of 329 million people, there were 1,055 police killings in 2021. Using the 2021 statistic, the US had a rate of 3.2 police killings per million people. 3.2. We are still what? 8 times? 8 times more than the US number in our police killings. So we have a lot of police killings here. Now, you could understand that the facts of the matter, the facts of the situation we reside in, is that our country has a large amount of criminality. Now, there would be a lot of factors playing into that. I am not denying that fact, and Trinidad and Tobago isn't in the same reality as the United States. I am sure if you were to take certain areas in the United States, if you were to take Southside Chicago, I am sure their police killing rate might be comparative. So it's not just the whole country thing. We understand there are unique differences there. And the fact that our country has the increased level of criminality, you could understand why this amount of police killings could be something that might actually be understood, something that might actually be excused by a large number of people. I was reading an article earlier today, and the article was talking about the spike in murders in Sangre Grande, East Trinidad. There have been recently a spike in murders in that district, and the corporation head over there was saying that a lot of this has to do pretty directly with the squatting and land grabbing in the area. Corporation boss, land grabbing, squatting, main cause of murders in Grande. Sangre Grande Regional Corporation Chairman Anil Jutaram is appealing to the police to implement brute force to eradicate criminals who are reportedly causing havoc in the region. He is also calling on the Commissioner of State Lands to be more active because land grabbing and squatting is the primary cause of criminality and murders in the region. On Wednesday, Acting Police Commissioner MacDonald Jacobs said of the 28 murders in the area, about 50% are being investigated as having links to gang activity. And now, because this is the reality, the request from the population, the request from the civilians would be one as such that they want the police to go out there and be more strict in their duties. There are many people who would call for the police to, to put it bluntly, to kill more people. There are many people that say that. Don't fill the jails. We don't want to feed them, etc., etc. You could understand that claim. One man from the Grande region here, who did not want to give his name, said gunmen have been coming through the forested areas. He said not all the people who are involved from are from Sangre Grande. He said the police have been doing their best with whatever manpower they have to curb the situation. These officers have been working 24/7. But what has happened in one of the incidents is after a police shift was over, gunmen were on the prowl and someone was murdered. This is something that has to be fought aggressively by the police. But what is preventing the police from doing their work is when you have agencies like the Police Complaints Authority and the Professional Standards Bureau. The police, they are the ones who become the casualty of this. We want the police to do the work, but when they do it, they have to be suspended and sent for desk duties. It cannot work. These police officers, they are only humans, because when they are in the line of fire, they must retaliate. Now, I wonder if this man is an officer himself, because he speaks like an officer, but I understand the sentiment nonetheless, because here's the reality that this man would have been facing. The community has been hit by a spate of killings recently. Imagine if this is a normal rural community right on the border of a forest. They're accustomed to a different kind of life. Maybe one murder in 30 years would have been the previous norm over there. On Tuesday, fisherman and excavator operator Windsor Mangru was shot dead as he attempted to leave his home at Picton Extension Road. And on Sunday evening, the body of an unidentified man was found in a shack in the area. He had been shot in the head. Last Friday, 5 people were shot along Picton Extension Road. 1 person died later at hospital. You're understanding the picture that is being painted in this little region. The upswing of criminality in this small confined region would be shocking to the residents. And obviously, if you're a resident in that area and you're seeing what is going on there, you're thinking from their perspective, I want the police to go out there and kill these people too. You could understand why a resident would see something like this. But on the other hand, here's the problem. If it was, we could be sure that all instances where the police killed someone, they were killing criminals, then maybe some people would be okay with this. But what do you do if the reality is that some of the police officers themselves may be involved in criminality and they are using their ability to kill people to advance criminal goals? And you being frustrated with the criminality in the country would be saying, yes, the police have to eradicate these criminals, not understanding that by celebrating this, it's basically just like another murder. It's like when one gang comes and kills 2 other rival gang members. Yes, those may be 2 criminals killed, but the act of the gang members killing them isn't something you want in the country because it increases the general criminality in the country. You see, the problem here isn't that the police are doing their jobs. If the police are doing their jobs, then agencies like the the Professional Standards Bureau and the Police Complaints Authority, there won't be any problems there. If you're doing your job and you are firing at people who are criminals, you are trying to clean up the Sangre Grande region, then fine. But if it is like the case over in Morva in 2020, 2 years ago, where 2 men had their hands up and the officers pumped multiple bullets into them, allegedly. If that is the case, then these officers are not helping the country. They are not aiding the country in reducing crime. They are criminals themselves. And then what we should be aiming to do is, as much as within our power, as quickly as possible, eradicate these police from the police service. Now, I'm not talking about eradicate them permanently, lock them up, treat them as we should treat criminals. And that's the whole point. The law has prescription for the criminals. Someone caught doing X has to be punished by Y. And usually, in a country like ours, the problem isn't that the law doesn't have serious enough punishment for a lot of the crimes. The punishment is that a lot of the criminals are not caught. So wanting the police to get real strict and shoot people isn't really what we need. We need the police to actually do their real jobs and collect the evidence, arrest people, put them before the court so that the courts would actually be able to prosecute them. That's my view. That's all I have for now. Tell me what you think. With these 8 officers being arrested and more very likely being lined up down the road to be prosecuted for this matter, do you think that justice will be attained in this issue of these 3 young men who lost their lives, who were killed by the police? Do you think justice will be gotten, or do you think that the police are just in too difficult a position. We are placing too much strain on the officers. The officers are actually the victims of much of the criminality here, and even when the officers might be wrong, we should give them the benefit of the doubt nonetheless. Tell me what you think. Drop a comment. That's all I have for now. I hope you're educated, informed, or entertained, and I will see you later.